I came from a background of a church that basically picks children off the streets and puts them in homes.
Well, I grew up in a family where my father always brought one child and another child and another child, meaning he also took care of children that came from other families.
We agreed with my wife, we need to adopt. Now, the next thing is, who do we adopt, a boy or a girl? I talked with my wife and we said, all right, because of many things, let's start with a girl. What caught my eye was one of the caregivers holding a very little baby. And suddenly my heart clicked. And then I called my wife and I said, that is the girl.
I was adopted. And I've grown up knowing that I'm adopted. So it isn't like a secret that came out of the books.
I can't explain it, but the miracle of adoption is, I know people say you're covering up, but it's the truth. The miracle of adoption is so powerful that when you ask me how does it feel to hold your own, I'll say, Melissa was the first I held as my own. It is deep. It is very deep. I can't explain it.
When she was 4 years old, she asked for a brother.
I dreamt Maxwell.
Yeah.
I saw him in my dreams. I saw this boy. I saw his eyes. I saw his bow legs. At that time, he had bow legs. Not anymore.
Yeah. How has your life been from the time you were taken up in this home?
It has been normal. It's like I came out of my mom's stomach, who's currently raising me up.
Melody's coming was a result of Maxwell and Melissa laying hands on my tummy every single day saying, God, give mommy a baby.
I know that they were adopted, but I don't think of them as adopted. I think of them as family I've always had since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
They're always there for me, they're always with me, and I love that.
They asked us in the beginning, what if you have your own children? Once you start to feel this one is different from this one, and surprisingly, I don't.
God's heart is to take care of the orphan, the widow. So by doing that, whether I have a family of 10 kids or whether I have no kids at all, I think touching God's heart is taking one of those that doesn't have a family and giving them a family.
In Uganda, many parents or many people do not embrace adoption. And because of the culture that we've been raised in and the communities that we are all brought in, many people embrace biological children rather than adopted children. I don't know if this is a knowledge gap that we might need to fill in this episode, but also to draw inspiration from stories of people who have gone ahead to foster many children, to parent many children, not necessarily their biological children, but have found so much fulfillment in doing that. And today, I'm bringing you the last episode of the previous series we've heard about Pastor Mark and his wife. In the previous episodes, they talked about waiting, how they went through a waiting period, and I'll encourage you to go and watch those episodes. And this time in this episode, we're going to talk about actually how they later went into adoption and how they actually got their baby as well. So please join me as we welcome Pastor Mark once again and for the last time to talk about his experience into adoption. Pastor Mark, you're welcome once again.
Thank you.
Nice to have
Glad
you
to
again.
be here.
In the previous episode, you talked about your waiting journey, which was super amazing, especially to the men. And now we want to talk about how you actually transitioned to the point where you considered adoption. Now, adoption is not talked about a lot in Uganda. In fact, people that have adopted children, sometimes people don't look at them as parents. You need to have your child, then add on adopted children.
Sure.
How was the process for you? Is it because people don't know the fulfillment that comes with foster parenting? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, people perish due to lack of knowledge.
Yes.
I came from a background of a church that basically picks children off the streets and puts them in homes. That is what watoto?
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in a family where my father always brought one child and another child and another child,
Yeah.
meaning he also took care of children that came from other families.
Yes.
So it was the norm to raise other children. I raised some of my siblings, so raising my own adopted children was fun.
And so, that is how we got inducted into
That culture.
the ideology of making a difference in someone else's life. So it was very easy for us at that time. And so the atmosphere there was a godly atmosphere where even the Bible talks about we being adopted into the family of God.
Yeah.
So you see, if you really are Christian, you cannot tell me your culture is stronger than your faith.
Yeah.
So we already started to consider. We were already visiting watoto homes and playing with the kids there, and now we had to take it a notch higher. Okay, just visiting kids and playing is not quite enough. Kids want a father and a mother. They need to see a model of a loving family.
Yeah.
So when my wife brought that up, it was something that already resonated with me because that is what we were doing.
Yeah.
And then the next thing was, who do we adopt? How do we make it right? We talked to fellow pastors there and other people. Some people are saying, but you wait, you first get deliverance, maybe first get your own, then adopt. What will people think? And will they see a full pastor has failed? And if you fail, how will the members feel? That kind of thing. There was a lot there, consult here, consult there. However, we were not led that way. We said, if this is something the Lord has put on our hearts for a child out there, then I don't have to consult with society or people. This is our thing. It's not even a church program. Some people like doing church programs, but what is the Lord saying to you as a person?
Oh yes.
So when we agreed with my wife, we need to adopt. Now the next thing is, who do we adopt? A boy or a girl? And when we said boys, people would say, be careful. These boys, when they grow up, they can kill you and take your inheritance. They are dangerous. There is another thing operating there. Start with girls. And maybe when you get one, it has to be a boy. Then I said, now. So all those fears started to come. But the thing is that the chemistry between male and female is stronger than the chemistry between a man and a man. And that's why sometimes you notice that the mothers are close to their sons and the daughters are close to their fathers.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to mention something here that many parents may not understand. The first man a daughter falls in love with and has a crush on is their father. And vice versa. You see, and when you finally are looking for a spouse, you look for your mother. You look at your wife or your husband very closely. You'll see traits of your father or mother in them. Yeah. Somehow that is it. Because of that's the impact. That is the male exposition you've had as a girl, and that is what you're familiar with. Now, you also notice that if a girl has had an abusive father who is neglective and so on, they usually will find a guy who will be like that.
Yeah.
Because that is what they are familiar with. You give them too much attention. That's not what my father did. But then you start to give them the other thing, and then they get attracted to that. And you say, what is wrong with you? So, you see, finally, I talked with my wife and we said, all right, because of many things, let's start with a girl. In fact, we had wanted to start with 2 girls. And she said to me, I don't know how to choose girls. So you go and choose the girl. So we went to 5 homes. And I would look around to see that spark, that crash, that chemistry. And I failed to find one. So we went back to Sanya Baby's home. And they showed me all these lovely girls, 1 year and so on and so forth. And I wasn't connecting at all. Until I just stood in one corner and I just extracted myself from the whole business. And I noticed what caught my eye was one of the caregivers holding a very little baby girl in their hands. She was 6 months old and she was asleep. And suddenly my heart clicked. And then I said, in fact, she was not 6, she was 3 months old. And then I called my wife and I said, that is the girl. They told us she had been a bit, challenged. She was a bit weak, sickly, and so on. They told us her story. And I said, but that is the one we want to take. They said, but she's been recovering from something. We said, we will wait.
I was adopted. And I've grown up knowing that I'm adopted. So it isn't like a secret that came out of the box later on in life. It's something I've always known. And I think also knowing it from the start enabled me to have like a full circle growing up experience. I was always with my family. I think one of the greatest privileges I've had as a child in this generation is my parents were around very, very often. I would see them. It wasn't a thing of daddy goes to work in the morning and he comes back in the night, or mommy's up and down. They were around. They were picking me. They were with me. So I had a whole round experience growing up.
And so when she recovered, we went through all the paperwork, took her home. It was a joy to have a baby in the house. Got her all the milk, the clothes. Now you're shopping deliberately, clothes for this, clothes for that, food for this, food for that, put them to sleep. So we got into a certain routine and suddenly we were 3 in the home. And that was a joy. And wherever we went, whether to the office, pastoring, wherever, we carried the baby. And the good thing is the people were so welcoming. They would help us carry the baby and so on. And so she grew up amongst people.
And she was
and she was so alive and so active and so, we were so eager to see her start to walk. So we bought a walker. And she would handle the walker like an expert, or a racing driver would handle a racing car. It was an amazing thing. And now she's 20.
Wow, from 6 months.
She's now 20 from 3 months.
23 from 3 months. 3 months.
I am a 20-year-old female girl that loves the Lord, that loves dancing, loves singing, and above all loves family.
Where do you go to school?
I am actually finishing my high school at Asifio International Academy. It's been an amazing experience. I will be done in the next couple of weeks.
At what point did you now consider another one?
When she was 4 years old, she asked for a brother. We already had intended to have another. In fact, we wanted to have taken 2 girls, but the other girl that we wanted to also pick out had been booked by another couple. And so that one was strong, big, must have been Nigerian. They're the ones that kick a lot, and but they told us that one was taken, and so we put it on a pause. But when she became 4, she said she needed a brother. And so now I looked at my wife and I said, I don't know how to choose boys. You choose the boy. And she said, I dreamt a boy. I saw the face. I know what he looks like. I said, really? Okay.
I dreamt Maxwell.
Yeah.
I saw him in my dreams. I saw this boy. I saw his eyes. I saw his bow legs. At that time, he had bow legs. Not anymore.
Yeah.
And then I saw blue shorts.
Yeah.
So I woke up with this picture. And so when we went to Sanyo to actually get him, after moving around, we couldn't find him still in Sanyo. We couldn't find him. And so I asked the lady, is there a boy? And it was really weird because I said, is there a boy who looks like this and has these shorts? It was really funny. And she's like, huh? How do you know? So I dreamt him. I know where he is. Let's go get him.
Wow.
So we go into another room and he was right there in the corner, exactly with the shorts, with the bow legs, and exactly what he looked like. So I knew that Maxwell was to be our son.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's fun-loving. He's energetic. He's quite a mover of things. So
Yeah.
he's not that child that will sit and just say yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Up to this day, he's
Yeah.
got a lot of energy. So you have to have a schedule for him.
My name is Maxwell Mukisa.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm 18 years of age.
Yeah.
Yes, I go to Mount Oreb International Christian School
Yeah.
in Kayunga district.
Yeah.
Yes, Kamembe.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you like doing in your free time?
I like to play sports, football,
Yeah.
rugby.
Yeah.
I like to make music.
Yeah.
Yes, I like to play instruments.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the memories of your childhood that you remember so vividly? Growing up.
Growing up, we had this house in Chireka
Yeah.
where all my parents would gather. The people they have raised would come together and have fun as a family. We'd play kwepena, football.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a nice moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Knowing that you were adopted in this home, what is the biggest memory you have of your adoption story?
The biggest memory, I think it was when they told me how I was brought to Sanyu Baby's home.
Yeah.
It's the story of how they left me in a church and took me to Sanyu Baby's home. Yes.
Kindly take us through that story, what you remember about that story.
So I think my mom was under 17.
Yeah.
And she, I think, went to a church and there she left me. I don't know whether she left me by mistake or on purpose. So she left me at a church and they told me an askari came and picked me and took me to Sanyu Baby's home.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
How has your life been from the time you were taken up in this home?
It has been normal. It's like I came out of my mom's stomach, who's currently raising me up.
Yeah.
I haven't had any troubles, like flashbacks, thoughts. Yeah, it has been a normal journey.
Now, Antima, I want to know about the melody.
Yes.
I want to know the whole experience of holding your own baby in your hands. How was that alongside other children?
Right. I will say this, I can't explain it, but the miracle of adoption is, I know people say you're covering up, but it's the truth. The miracle of adoption is so powerful that when you ask me how does it feel to hold your own, I'll say, Melissa was the first I held as my own. It is deep. It is very deep. I can't explain it. Yeah, but I think it's something God does in your heart.
Yeah.
Yes, and Melody's coming was a result of Maxwell and Melissa laying hands on my tummy every single day, saying, "God, give mommy a baby."
Really?
Yes,
That's
was
so
to pray all the time. Put a baby in her stomach. That was their prayer all the time. So when it finally happens after 12 years, they were like, she got the baby. So it was something that we all wanted.
Yeah.
It was all of us wanting it, and then it
Yeah.
happens,
Oh, yeah.
and then we all celebrate that she has finally come.
Oh.
Yeah.
When our precious angel Melody came, eventually, I remember we actually laid our hands on Mom's stomach and said, God, give Mommy a baby. We're just two. We
Yeah.
want to be more. Because my other brother had practically grown, university done. So it was just me and Max in the house. Like, God, give Mommy a baby. We want to be more in the house. And then Melody finally came. At a certain point, I think she came when I was 9. I think. So at the phase when I was 10 or 11, I had the thing of, I think Mommy likes her more than me. We were like 9, 10.
Yeah.
But above all, I was just so grateful to have Melody around. I was so happy. Just
Yeah.
beautiful to have a sister. Yes.
When Melody came, I first distanced myself from Mom because she was showing more love and affection to her.
Yes.
Yeah. But before she came, I was like that last born. Everyone would show attention to me.
Yeah.
Mom, Dad, Melissa,
Yeah.
my bigger brother Eddie, and other people who they were all raising.
Yeah.
So when Melody came,
Mm.
things all of a sudden changed.
Yeah.
But now, yeah, we should show her the love and affection.
Yeah.
Until someone younger will come, then
Yeah.
she also feel the same thing.
How has it been growing with your older siblings?
It's been very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know their story?
a bit of it.
What do you know about them?
I know that they were adopted, but I don't think of them as adopted.
Yeah.
I think of them as family I've always had since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
They're always there for me, they're always with me, and I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
How does it feel to be the biological child?
Normal,
Mm-hmm.
very normal.
Yeah.
It's sometimes to other people shocking, but it's very normal. You feel normal around them. It's very normal, actually.
They asked us in the beginning, what if you have your own children? Won't you start to feel this one is different from this one? And surprisingly, I don't.
You take all of them.
This is my firstborn, this is my secondborn, this is my thirdborn. All of them have a place in your heart in a different way. They are not raised the same. What you do with this one is different from what you do with the other one. And they love each other. They
Yeah.
are such a unit. And there's nothing like this one is, and they all know their stories.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Even the biological one knows the story
Of
the others. Now, I've been in places where they try and keep the stories away
Which is a
from the
thing.
children.
Mm.
And then they are trying to make the children feel that you are biological
You are adopted.
and yet you are adopted. Now, the world outside there knows the true story that you're trying to hide. You're trying to hide an open secret. You're going to destroy this child because when this child discovers you have been lying to them, your bubble will burst badly. Badly. So from the time she was 6 months, when she could say, bah, 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 we would tell the story. By the time she was 1.5 years, she could tell her story and ask us, tell me that story again, until she caught it.
Could you
Yeah.
speak to mothers who still don't consider adoption as their own babies?
Yeah.
They're trying to get a baby,
Yes.
but the baby is not coming and adoption is not an option.
One of the things that I really appreciate about God is when He created each one of us, He made us in His image. And I want to say to every mom, if you're struggling to have a baby, that you are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yeah.
The Bible says your frame was not hidden from him when you were made in that secret place, meaning you're perfect. You're not different from another person because you haven't yet conceived.
Yeah.
You're still God's daughter, and you're beautiful, and you're fearfully and wonderfully made. Having exhausted all the checkups, and there's nothing wrong, whether there is something wrong or nothing wrong, but having exhausted all the checkups, I think even as you wait, whichever method you're going to use, and if there's no problem, just waiting for a miracle, whichever method you're going to use to have that baby, having exhausted all that, as you wait to have that baby, I think God's heart, again, as a Christian, I'll say, God's heart is to take care of the orphan, the widow. So by doing that, whether I have a family of 10 kids or whether I have no kids at all, I think touching God's heart is taking one of those that doesn't have a family and giving them a family. So this goes to every single person, whether you have a child or you don't have a child. It is something that will touch the apple of God's eye. Meaning when you move his heart, he will move the world for you. Can you imagine that? God moving the world for us because we've touched his heart. So touch the orphan. Get to that child that doesn't have and help them through. Bring them in, take care of them. So that is our heart. And hey, we still want to adopt more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we still do.
Wow.
Just waiting for when, but we still want to do that.
Pastor Mark, one last question on this episode. If the parents of the other children came, would you give them away?
You can't give them away.
Yeah.
The children are now of age.
Yeah.
They make their choices.
Yeah.
And I know what they will choose.
I think at a certain point when I was in my, I would say, stubborn teens, like 14, 15, I used to think, maybe I should find my mom somewhere, wherever she is, and whatever. But growing up, I've just been extremely grateful for where I am right now. So if they showed up right now, I would have questions. I'd have a lot of questions. Yeah. I'd want to know what happened. I'd want to know what was running through her mind. I'd want to know whether after all these years they've thought about me or anything, or whether I was just a done topic. And so I would have so many questions. I'd want to have so many tea times and coffee sessions, just talking one-on-one, because now an adult, so I want to have a very candid conversation.
Did you get to know exactly why they did what they did?
Unfortunately, I didn't. But when I look at the circumstances surrounding my story, I think it was in a box situation. I think she felt like she had no way out. This is my interpretation so far. I feel like she felt like she had no way out, and the circumstances that were surrounding her just felt inevitable. And so that's my understanding. So I'd like to sit down with her and understand what actually went down.
If your mom showed up now, would you go with her and she wants to take you?
No, but I would spend time with her.
Yeah.
Yes, while I'm still with my current parents.
Yeah.
I would spend time with her. Ask her a few questions. What happened? This and this. Yes.
But you'd still maintain these parents?
Of course. They're my home.
Yeah.
They're the reason why I'm alive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. One word to your parents?
One word to my parents would be thank you. Thank you so much. I think the one word would end up being a paragraph because I'm just so very grateful. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So one word would be thank you.
I'd like to thank them a lot for pushing me to what I am right now.
Yeah.
For the opportunities they have created for me.
Yeah. E.g.
Yes.
E.g.
Studying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And love and care.
Yeah. And
what they're doing for other people.
Yeah.
Because it's not only us who they are raising, paying tuition for.
Yeah.
They're doing it for a few other people. Yes.
To my siblings, I'm happy. I'm grateful that you're my siblings. You guys were one of the best things that are in my life.
Yeah.
And you are, and you will always be.
Yeah.
You're fun, you're funny, we get along well, so thank you.
Is there anything you want to tell any person they're considering foster parenting?
Anybody considering foster parenting, do not hesitate. Do not give it a second thought. Go for it. I think the beauty in taking up a child into the home and giving them a chance to feel loved, giving them a chance and an opportunity to understand that you are worth it. Because a lot of them that stay in the home have so many things going through their minds. Why don't I have a mommy? Why don't I have a daddy? Am I not loved? Am I not worth it? So you would not just be gaining a joy, you would be giving hope to a child, giving them a chance. And you have no idea which direction God wants to take them as they get older. So you might find that this gift that you got at, say, 4 months old grows up to be the next president. Who knows? I know. And that will just be because of the decision that you made. So you'll be opening a door. So I tell you, do not hesitate. Just go for it.
After Melody, there's Brian. He's somewhere.
So there are 4 foster
but he's
children
he's a grown man.
and 1 biological child.
Yes.
What a story.
Yes.
Thank you guys. This is so inspirational. The thing is that many parents, there are even parents who have their own children, but they have the ability and can take on more children. But sometimes you don't know the miracle of adoption.
Yes.
You don't know what sometimes touching God's eye.
It is beautiful.
You know?
I can't explain it, but it's beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story
Kali.
with us.
It's been wonderful.
Thank you guys. I hope this was inspirational to you. Oh my God, I'm so inspired. I just have one child and I feel like I should add on other children that are not even mine.
As long as you're in agreement. The thing is, you have to be in agreement with the spouse.
Oh yes.
Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is so nice. Thank you.
Welcome.
I'm so inspired.
It's been nice.
And I know that anybody who's watching this could consider at one point, you and your spouse could consider. There's so many people out there. There's so many children. In Uganda, there's so many homes of children that are ready to be taken up. If you just make up your mind, pray about it, agree with your spouse, you can touch his eye. Once again.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Please let us know what you think in the comment section. Till next time. Bye-bye.